What up, guys? I'm Example, here to do my day job in my time off and whatnot. Well, tonight I've actually got a video game to talk with you guys about. It's called Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. That's the title. And no, it's not a very good title, is it? I could probably mess around and spend the whole video bitching about non-stop just it, but the focus of our analysis today isn't on this terrible branding, but rather on a question that I cannot believe hasn't been asked yet. Why, exactly, is this a Digimon story? It's in the title, Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. But why? Let's walk through it together, what do you say? Well, the cinematic intro is pretty good. It's clever and visually striking, like pretty much everything else in this game, honestly. But the intro especially does do a really fine job establishing the setting. It's a near-future cybernet-dominated Japan where chat rooms and a certain virtual reality world called Eden have become ubiquitous. We meet our major characters, first the protagonist, of course, and then his friends. Let's see, good design, and good design, yeah. The girl especially has a godlike voice actress. She turns in like this really legit memorable performance in the role that single-handedly sells the character. With some context well in hand, the pace picks up a bit after that, and we start to see the primary plot develop. Basically, hackers. Yeah, hackers are running wild in the virtual world, stealing Eden accounts and mental data from people's heads, while these unreal abominations called Eaters scramble people's brains while they're in the virtual world and drop them into comas in the real world from which it's said they'll never awake. Evocative. In short order, to save the day, or at least try to, our hero meets up with quite possibly my favorite video game character design in ages, Kyoko. Well, dear God, she's gorgeous. Honestly, pretty much, yeah, that's all I've got to say. Nothing more to say. 10 out of 10. Flawless masterpiece. Game is clearly a timeless classic. Alright, no, for real. Our hero meets up with Kyoko, the peerless goddess slash detective, becoming her assistant cyber sleuth to help solve a variety of intriguing cyber cases. With help, of course, from a colorful and fun, but impressively complex cast of very human characters. Eventually, even saving the world. And all of that sounds fine, right? I mean, right? Nothing really problematic in any of that, is there? And in fact, honestly, after having played the whole game, I can safely say that I've just described for you all of the very best elements of the experience. Therein lies the rub, though. The title is Digimon Story. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And if I've just described everything good about this game for you, and I have, why haven't I even mentioned Digimon at all yet? Well, that is the question. Therefore, we're back full circle to my initial query. The topic of our analysis today, why is this a Digimon story? Why exactly? It's mind-boggling, really. But before I go any further, let me just quickly clarify. I have absolutely no problem with Digimon as a brand. In fact, I quite like it. Let the record show I like it just fine. And it's not as if I particularly mind Digimon as a concept being part of this game. It's perfectly serviceable. The game, I mean, exactly the way it is, and even has a lot going for it, relatively speaking. It's just that the entire Digimon aspect adds nothing to the overall story. Literally nothing. And, I mean, come on, it's in the title. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Come on, guys. Alright. Let's slow down for a minute. I'm not even gonna show anything on screen for a few seconds here, because this is probably the most important part of it. Tell me, how many people do you think never bought this game, never tried it out, and just glanced over it because Digimon was in the title? Yeah, how many people who aren't fans of Digimon saw the Digimon brand attached to this game and immediately passed over it? You know, never to return, never to look back. Yeah, a lot of people. And that is the real issue here. That's the issue. If the Digimon in this game never do anything that random programs or like rogue AIs couldn't have done just as well, and spoiler warning, they don't, why is the Digimon brand attached to this game? It turned off so many people who just aren't Digimon fans, and those people missed this game completely, and it had so much potential. That's really the issue. So let's jump ahead a little bit to clarify. Why is this a bad thing? Well, let me count the ways. Both the overarching narrative and every major character spend the entire game bending over backwards to pretend that Digimon are somehow necessary for the story when they so aren't. In fact, Digimon only seem to matter at all, basically because reasons. Because the script just says they do, I guess. Like, the strength of the game is squarely in the character drama and writing already, in the incredibly good localization and almost Persona-esque feel. The whole upside is in the shady cyber conspiracy mystery that unfolds around the heroes in the first half, not in the generic, painfully average RPG turn-based combat tunnels. Because of this, the first half of the game is distinctly stronger, critically speaking, full of tension and strong dialogue with intrigue as the focus, as it should be. While the second half feels fast and loose, it's no coincidence then that the Digimon barely matter at all in the first half of the story, and then are forcibly and somewhat clumsily made pivotal narrative figures in the later bits. All that being said, consider this. As a standalone new IP, cybercrime story with character drama and supernatural elements, even with arbitrary hacking-based program collection and combat, if you want, what exactly would the story be losing? If you're not already a Digimon fan, nothing important, clearly, and that is the real issue here. Guys, this is the heart of the matter. All of that sacrificed potential for mass appeal. It's sad to see. It really is. Does the Digimon brand actually even serve the story? What exactly does the brand contribute to the game for non-Digimon fans? Well, since we are just about done for the day, I guess we ought to make the obvious inferences, huh? It's time to draw the clear conclusion and answer our own questions. The Digimon brand helped sell the game to established fans. Naturally, at the cost of the mainstream market force. That's where the Digimon contribute. That's why they're there instead of being a new IP. Forcing the story to revolve around Digimon and including a bunch of popular monsters with pre-existing fan bases. Not to mention branding the game Digimon story. It moved units. That's what this is. It was probably both more profitable and safer than investing these kinds of resources into a brand new creative project without reliable name recognition. And in all honesty, I wouldn't even really have minded. Not at all, if only the developers hadn't made it so obvious right from the start that this story had real potential. It could have been so much more, guys. I mean, this game could have had literal broad scope mass appeal with this level of quality and polish. Instead, I suppose it made a bunch of under-the-radar Digimon fans happy, which, I mean, hey, that's not necessarily a bad thing either, I guess. Alright, well, that's all I've got for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for your time, as always. And as always, I welcome your feedback. If you want to leave me a comment to criticize or compliment me, I'd so much appreciate it. Either way, I do hope to see you again on my next video. If you had fun, needless to say, I'm sure we're going back to anime after this, pretty sure at least, but I suppose we'll see, won't we?